Hey there, deep divers. Get ready, because we've got a real head scratcher for you today. Definitely a fascinating one. Yeah, we're taking a look at a news story that feels like, I don't know, it feels like it's straight out of a political thriller. Absolutely. A president-elect convicted of a felony. Right. But facing absolutely no penalties. It's certainly an interesting situation, and yeah, it could have ramifications that could last for years. So, okay, let's break this down a little bit. Yeah. The story is about Donald Trump's 2024 re-election. Right. And his previous conviction that's related to hush money payments. So the judge in the case has decided that Trump won't be facing any jail time or fines. Okay. But the conviction itself stands. Wow. Meaning he'll be the first convicted felon to serve as president again. Yeah, exactly. The judge, Judge Mercharm, right. He's aiming for what he calls finality in the case, while still allowing for the appeals that might come from Trump's legal team. Yeah. And I think what's really interesting here is that this approach that he's taking, it could be a way to sort of like navigate a really complex and potentially lengthy legal battle during Trump's upcoming presidency. Oh, for sure. You know, to give you a little bit of historical context, you could think of insert relevant historical case with a protracted appeals process. Okay. You know, that one took years to reach a final resolution. Wow. So yeah, that is a long time. Yeah. And it really highlights how this could be delayed and disrupt things if it were to keep going during Trump's term. Absolutely. And so on the appeals front, Trump's lawyers are saying that the entire conviction violates the Supreme Court's rulings on presidential immunity. But the district attorney's office, they are not backing down. No, they're saying that dismissing a jury's verdict would be an extreme remedy. Right. Which, if you don't know the legal terms, that means a really drastic and unusual measure taken by a court. Yeah. And they believe that overturning the jury's decision would set a very, very dangerous precedent. Yeah. And I think that the legal battle here really comes down to how people are interpreting presidential immunity. Okay. Almost imagine it like this bubble, like a protective bubble around the president. Okay. And it's designed to shield them from all these frivolous lawsuits. Right. And allow them to carry out their duties without being distracted by all this legal stuff. Yeah. But the debate is, does that bubble, does it extend to actions taken before they even become president? Right. Like in Trump's case, it's a really tricky situation. For sure. And it gets, I think, even more complicated when you consider that the judge is allowing Trump to attend sentencing. Virtually. Yeah, he cited the mental and physical demands of the presidential transition. Oh, wow. This is a big question then. Yeah. About the precedent it sets for other high-profile people that are facing legal proceedings. Totally. Like, could virtual sentencing become normal in cases like this? Yeah. And how would that affect people's perception of justice being served? Yeah. It is worth pointing out, though, that there are internal opinions within the Justice Department that suggest a sitting president can't be prosecuted. Right. Now, these opinions, they don't hold legal weight in this specific case, right? But the judge did reference them. Okay. Which just kind of highlights how unusual this legal situation is. Yeah, definitely uncharted territory. Totally. Oh, and don't forget the timing of all of this. Yeah, Trump's inauguration is just 10 days after the sentencing. Yeah, that really adds another layer to all of this. For sure. You know, like this case and the appeals that could come from it, they could cast like a really long shadow over Trump's second term. Yep. And, you know, that could affect his ability to govern and keep the public's trust. It makes you wonder about the consequences for future presidents. Like if they think they can just avoid being held accountable because of their position. Right. It can make them feel like they can do whatever they want. Exactly. This case really shows us how power is balanced in our government. You know, the founding fathers really thought about checks and balances. Yeah. To stop any one branch from having too much power. Right. And this situation, I think, shows how important it is to have a strong and independent judicial system. Right. One that's not afraid to stand up for the law, even when it's dealing with the people at the top. It feels like we're walking a tightrope here. Yeah. Like we need to make sure that presidents can do their jobs without being bothered by silly lawsuits. But we also can't let them hide behind their position to avoid facing real legal problems. For sure. And this case, I think, really puts a spotlight on the whole debate about how far presidential immunity goes. Yeah. And how much accountability we need at all levels of government. Right. And it's not just a legal thing either. It's about being fair and having equal justice for everyone. Okay, so we've talked about the legal stuff and the political stuff. But let's remind everyone about the specifics of the case. Right. This is about $130,000 hush money payment to Stormy Daniels. Yeah, you're the adult film star. And this happened during the 2016 election. Right. And these payments, they were supposedly made to stop Daniels from talking about an affair she said she had with Trump. And in the end, Trump was convicted on 34 counts of falsifying business records. Wow. All because of these payments. It's really important to understand these specific charges, falsifying business records, because they show what Trump is actually accused of. Right. The prosecutors said that these records were changed on purpose, right, to hide what the payments were really for. Yeah. And that violated campaign finance laws, and the jury agreed, right, which is why he was convicted of a felony. So even though Trump's not going to jail or paying fines right now, right, the fact that he still has this conviction, yeah, means that he'll be the first convicted felon to be president. Again, it makes you think about what kind of message that sends. Yeah, not just here, but around the world. Yeah, what does that say about American leadership and the rule of law? Some people might say it makes the office of president seem less important, right? Like it hurts America's reputation globally. Yeah. But other people might see it as proof that our democracy works, right? That even the most powerful people can be held responsible for what they do. It's definitely got people talking and thinking about what it all means. Yeah, no doubt about that. This case shows how important it is to have citizens who are informed and involved, for sure. We need to know about these complicated issues and be part of the conversations about them. Yeah, it's easy to feel overwhelmed with all the news and legal stuff going on. Yeah, but we can't just ignore it. Definitely not. These issues affect all of us. Absolutely. So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, it feels like we're at a crossroads. Yeah. What does this whole case tell us about law and power in America today? I think that's the big question, isn't it? Yeah, it forces us to look at some uncomfortable things about our system. Is it really blind justice if a president-elect can get away without any real punishment for a felony? Yeah. Or does being president mean there's a whole different set of rules? Yeah, it's a slippery slope for sure. Totally. And I think it's something that every single person in this country needs to really think about. Yeah, as we move forward, what kind of example does this set? Right? What does it say about what we expect from our leaders? And it also shows how important a free press and informed citizens are. Oh, absolutely. We got to stay on top of things, ask the hard questions, and demand that our leaders are transparent. Yeah. The media has a big role to play here, for sure. They got to hold the powerful accountable by shining a light on these complicated issues and explaining them to the public. We can't just sit back and think everything will work itself out. Nope. It takes all of us being involved to make sure justice is served and our democracy stays strong. Well said. And, I think this case really reminds us that these issues aren't just some abstract legal debate happening far away. Right. They have real consequences for all of us. Yeah. They shape the kind of society we live in and the future we're building. This is a story that's not over yet. Not even close. Who knows what's going to happen next as Trump's lawyers keep appealing? Right. Could this go on for years and affect his whole presidency? It's like a real life political thriller. Totally. And as things develop, we'll be here to break it all down for you, give you the context and help you understand what's going on. So if you're as hooked on this story as we are, make sure you subscribe to the deep dive so you don't miss any future episodes. Yes, definitely subscribe. We'll keep digging into this case and other important topics that are shaping our world. That's right. We'll keep you informed. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Yeah, it's been a really interesting journey. Until next time, keep those questions coming. Keep learning and keep diving deep. See you next time.